Aloha everyone, this is Tanya Ahina, Hawaii Homes by Tanya with Century 21 iProperties Hawaii. And today I am with David Tasaka, who happens to be the Frugal Ninja.
Hi, I'm David Tasaka. I am the Frugal Ninja. My journey has taken me to many places. When I moved out from home many years ago, a friend let me stay with him for only $50 in a 2-bedroom cottage. I was so poor that I lived on $7.50 a week for all 21 meals. Most people can't believe that, but I had it down to a science. 25 cents for breakfast, 25 cents for lunch, and 50 cents for dinner.
Wait a minute, I gotta interrupt. So, like, what time frame, like year span?
This was way back in the mid-70s.
So that was pretty doable,
It
right?
was using what I call back then, I guess I would call it creative money-saving techniques. But that sounded kind of too high makri-mak. Now I just call it the Frugal Ninja system. And what I learned along the way was that if you approach saving money with the right attitude, which is that you're not suffering, you're actually prospering. And especially now during this pandemic crisis, many people don't have an emergency fund and they are in dire straits with food and shelter. The big thing is shelter, having a place to live. You can get free food. They have these massive food pickup things. You almost can get free clothing. You can go to a thrift shop or something. But the big thing is housing. And for many people, they are staying in places that they have rented for years. And especially now, their job goes away with no emergency fund. They cannot pay the rent. So the city and state have stepped in and stopped evictions. And what that has produced is they have a reprieve. But when these stop eviction orders expire, they may be out on the street and homeless. I've always been a proponent that housing is one of the most important things for people to have, because I just passed by the Institute of Human Services and I saw all the homeless lined up for food, and they got food. So my take on it is food is very important, but you can get some food somehow. However, housing is very tricky. And this is why I've been a huge proponent of becoming a home owner rather than a home renter. I made up my mind, what is that, 5 years ago, that I wanted to own my own place because my parents never owned a home. And they had a good deal, but those deals don't exist now. Once I made up my mind, my prime objective was to become a homeowner. I did everything possible to make that happen. One day, a friend of mine said, Dave, you have to buy a place because the prices will never be this low. He worked for a developer and he knew the trends were happening. So he actually went with me to look at different places. I couldn't afford a house, but I could afford a condo. And at that time, you wouldn't believe this, Tanya, condos were going for about $20,000 to 35,000.
But David, doesn't the market, isn't it all relative? Market versus the income coming in for people, the wages back then.
Yes, yes. The big thing that I've seen for being a frugal ninja devotee or participant is that you have to be willing to sacrifice present consumption for future well-being. I had a friend a couple of years ago tell me, Dave, I'm giving up eating out. I said, why? You enjoy eating out. She said, I do. But last week I went out to 2 meals and it cost me $100. And I said, where did you go? Did you go to Roy's or Alan Wong's or Ruth Chris? She said, oh no, just regular restaurant. I said, how can that be? That's $50 a meal. Then she chimed in and said, well, I did have some wine. I said, oh, how much was your wine? It was $15 a glass.
I love eating out too. So this pandemic and lockdown has really been kind of painful for me because me and my family love to go out and eat. But yes, it does rack up the bill, especially if you're trying to save. You can't, that's one thing that's got to go. That's like the first thing that's got to go, right?
Many people are spending almost half their take-home pay on eating out and entertainment. I know this well because I used to be a booking agent for musicians. In fact, one of the groups we booked was the Makaha Sons, and that's how I got to meet Iz. And Iz was quite a character, and I will always remember him. It was so funny. And what I learned from being in the entertainment business is my musicians were thriving on people drinking $3 to $5 drinks. No cover, no minimum. They drank and tanked a lot. But that was then. Now it's completely different. We don't have the infrastructure to support live entertainment the way we used to. At the height of my booking agency business, we had 22 groups all working all over the world. We booked into Japan, we booked into Alaska, we booked into the West Coast, we booked all the other islands, and money was flowing big time. If you look now, there's hardly any live entertainment. So it comes down to I have a lot of compassion and aloha for musicians trying to make a living now because there aren't that many jobs. There's no dance rooms like Point After and those types of things.
Yeah, I remember those places.
Hey, you're not that old.
But I remember those places. I think I
Yeah.
was at the age where I could sneak in.
Oh, sneak-o-matic, we call that. But that brings us to today. Why are people suffering so much financially? As I look at it, I've seen that no one taught them how to handle money. The parents might have been too busy, or they themselves didn't know how to handle money. And it became a family pattern. If grandma and grandpa didn't know how to handle money, they didn't have children that learned from them. Their children didn't learn. And so the children's children, which are the people today, ended up as adults with very little money education. And this is not like investing in the stock market or, no money down. This is day-to-day things: food, clothing, and shelter.
So David, real
Yes.
quick, can you just tell us real quickly, what is Frugal Ninja? I mean, your system. You are Frugal Ninja, but what's your system?
My system is based on the premise that if you know how to save, you will save. And you can save significantly. And one of the big things is you have to know, you have to have the knowledge. How do you know if the longs ad is a good deal or not? That's one of the things in the educational system. This past week, I shopped at Long's. I saved 62% on everything I buy because the Frugal Ninja system, you only buy things on sale. And the way you can do this is you plan by having a shopping list. And you stock up on things that are on sale, mostly food items, because food and shelter are the two big
Because
things.
I
Food and
agree with
health.
that totally, especially when my family, we were, I have 5 children. So,
Wow.
and my husband works full time, always has since we've been married, and I never had to go to work. I always worked from home to raise the family, to raise the kids. So I know what it's like to have to really budget up your money and really bring in the reins,
Mhm.
especially when the kids were younger.
The the key to the Frugal Ninja system is not getting a deal. The key is getting every deal. And a lot of people say, "Oh, can't do that." Can't do. You have to plan. Most people are buying things on the fly. What do I want to eat? Well, let me smell what smells good. My friend told me got this place that has the best barbecue. How much is a plate? Barbecue plate could run close to $20. Things like where you buy gas. Costco gas, people laugh at me. You can save about $1 a gallon if you buy gas at Costco. That means if you get a Costco card, which runs 50 to 60 bucks on the regular card, without ever stepping into a Costco store or buying anything from Costco, just buying gas, you would pay for the card, the savings right there. I'm a Costco and Sam's Club devotee. The reason for this is on a day-to-day basis, they probably have about the best prices. I'm also a proponent of reading midweek because they have the sales on food or Foodland, Times, and Safeway. And Hawaii Star Advertiser has the Sunday section, which has Don Quixote. The good thing is that now you can get all of those specials online. So my goal is to point people in the right direction, show them the underlying system for Frugal Ninja system, which is number one, have a budget. How much do you spend and how much do you want to save? And a good gauge is a percentage. Say you're spending 100 bucks a week on food and you want to save $50. That means you have to you have to look for deals that will save you 50%. The only way that you can really win in today's pandemic thing is to cook and eat at home. My budget for eating at home is about $2 a meal. And people used to laugh. So I've been posting on my Facebook page what I eat, $1.75. People can't believe it. Why? Because they have a misconception eating at home is hard. You're going to get junk food, and they'd rather buy a plate. Plate lunches run 10 to 15 bucks, even for like Rainbow Drive-In. And for 10 to 15 bucks, I could get 7 meals, right? $2 a meal.
How do you help, let's say, families? Like singles, it's a little easier to
Yeah,
save, but families, especially in Hawaii, we have big families
yeah,
and grandbabies that come and attach themselves and all of that.
right, right. That's a good question, Tanya. one of the things I would recommend is learn how to cook. And one of the miracle products that's really hot now is the Instant Pot and other electric pressure cookers. You can get Instant Pot for as low as $50, or if you buy the generic brand at Best Buy, you can get it for $30. That one Instant Pot cooking a meal. You can make beef stew from the cheapest cuts and everything. There's even a Facebook page called Instant Pot Hawaii. And I look at the meals like kalua pig and cabbage, beef stew, ribs. I'm going, wow, these people, and they're enjoying. The other thing, Tanya, is you got to enjoy the journey. If you don't enjoy saving money, you're not going to make it. My goal is to set up systems that people can embrace easily, quickly, not complex, not rocket science, on the three arenas. And the other one is transportation. Many people don't know how to buy a car. So part of the Frugal Ninja system is how to save $5,000 on every car you buy the rest of your life. It should be at least $5,000.
So
And
you don't recommend leasing a car. You recommend buying.
leasing a car is tricky because you have no accumulated residual value. And I'll tell you this story. A friend of mine called me one day. She said, Dave, can I borrow $5,000? I said, well, what are you going to use it for? She said, my car is coming off lease and I have to turn it back in unless I pay them the residual amount, which is 5,000. She didn't have 5,000. There are exceptions. If you're in business, you can write almost the whole thing off. But knowing many people are not in a business that they can do that. So my contention is buy what you can afford, not what you fall in love with. I've seen people buy like the Ford F-150. That truck could be almost $60,000 fully loaded. 60,000. And it eats gas like crazy. My suggestion, and this will be a whole other Frugal Ninja thing, is buy a used car that's still good. One of the sayings is, when you drive a car off the dealer's lot, you lose about 10 to 15% as soon as you drive off. And it keeps going down from there on. So transportation, food, housing, entertainment, and all the other things, education, private schools are astronomical. Even the university is high. But if you have a burning desire to save money, you will win big time.
What would be like the one piece of advice that would help someone right now, right this minute, just take that and just kind of start on this path to saving more?
I would say create a realistic budget that fits you. Because from the budget, you will get to see how and what to do. The rest will fill in. But many people are winging it and they're crashing and burning all the time. And it's very sad.
You counsel people with your system?
One of my goals is to give a Frugal Ninja workshop. And initially I thought I would have a actual workshop. And a friend of mine, you know him, has given me the okay that I could use his venue because I have a nonprofit. And I thought, but that only can teach 50 people. I want to teach 5,000 people. So I'm thinking, and maybe you can help me with this, with the Frugal Ninja Zoom classes, which then anybody can access, and it's all archived, the YouTube. That's why I got to talk to you about this, because I want to disseminate information quickly and easily And I want it to be entertaining, because if it's just like going to college and you're learning all this statistic, it's so boring. So I thought we'd have humor in it. And then we also would have the deal of the week, where like you getting the
The restaurant,
$25 gift, yeah, for $6.
restaurant.com.
That's
Yeah.
good. And the thing is, having a dynamic where my goal is to post the deal of the day every day. One deal that's an amazing deal. And so people can start small, because not everybody buys what I buy. But the thing is, if they find something they really like, maybe they can stock up. Maybe if they don't have a membership card to Sam's or Costco, I think they have sometimes like a trial. You can try for 1 month. But the thing is, if you're going to buy things, buy only things that are not at full retail, and stock up when you can, and have a budget.
What is there, like a book or something that you like to read?
One is called Your Money or Your Life, and it's an old classic. I'll post it on my Facebook page. I think there are many books out there. I would caution people not to go for the get rich quick scheme. There are some books, and I'm right in the process now of designing my Frugal Ninja website, thanks to a tech genius that's helping me. And all of the resources will be on the website and also on the Frugal Ninja Facebook page, so I've asked people, if you want more information, I'm beta testing the Frugal Ninja system on my Facebook page, so you can befriend me. I started with about 935. Now I'm up to 2,000, almost 2,850. That means that people like what I say.
This was great, David. I really appreciate you coming and talking story. Is there any last words you want to say to people during this time of COVID, maybe, where everyone's kind of locked down?
I would say that this quote is my favorite quote. It's my mantra. Show up for every opportunity, because out of showing up, you can create miracles in your life.
Yes, I agree. Bravo, bravo. Yes. All right, David. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you taking the
You're
time.
welcome.
I look forward to what more you are going to do in with this. I think this is awesome what you've started, what you've created. So I can also call you Frugal Ninja. Yeah?
Yes.
Rather than David.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Tanya, for this opportunity to introduce a system that can really help people save their financial life forever.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Thank you.
everyone, thanks for tuning in. See you later. Say goodbye, David.